When you die, you move out of time into what they call eternity. In essence, death is life leaving time.
Something made me realize that I had work to do. 9 years ago, to this day, I buried my mother. This amazing, incredible woman told me a long time ago, son, no matter what you do, make a difference in the world.
It takes the consistent application of a new discipline, a more desirable one to overcome one which is less desirable. It takes discipline to plan. It takes discipline to execute our plan.
I have never seen anybody who did extraordinary feats that didn't have extraordinary issues. It is the passion that gives you the power you need, but it is the pain from which you have the conviction about it. If you had not been through some pains, you would not have the burning to do what you do. I believe that children are like arrows. They need to be directed. You aim them at the thing you want them to hit.
So we are about to cross into another period of what we call time. We call it a new year. And time is temporary, but life is eternal. We were put in time to live a portion of life. And here's what I discovered about time. What is time? Time is an interruption in eternity. Time is also defined in my book as a small measure of eternity. Time is a piece of eternity. Time is a slice of forever with a beginning and an end. Time is the limited period during which an action or a process exists or takes place.
Don't try to change it, but make a difference. And even during the course of making a difference, even up to the age that I am today, I find myself being drained, being tired. I find myself trying to be a good man, a good husband, a good father. And sometimes I'm tired. I don't feel I have the strength. I don't feel that I'm good enough.
In other words, time is a measure of space. Time itself has its own power. God created time, but he doesn't live in it. And therefore, when God speaks to us, we got to be careful. God lives in forever, but he placed us in time. He designed time to make life easier for us. God created time to give a piece of eternity a measure, and he put us in it. And God created time for us to live in it so that we could experience relief from eternity. I mentioned this some time ago, and I'll say it again. If you lived in eternity, it's a tough place to live. I used to wonder why God told Adam, don't touch the tree of life. And when Adam sinned, the first thing God did was kicked him out of the garden, and he put a flaming sword with cherubim, and the Bible says to protect the tree of life.
But I realize that doesn't mean just because you don't think you're good enough, doesn't mean you can't be good. Doesn't mean you can't be great. Doesn't mean you can't carry on. Every battle that you fight in your life doesn't mean you're going to always win that battle, because there are going to be many battles that you're going to have to fight. And every battle is not meant for you to win. Sometimes these battles are meant for you to learn. They're meant for you to grow. They're meant for you to understand that you can still keep moving as long as you believe. So yes, I get tired. You will get tired. Yes, you will question your abilities. Yes, you will start thinking to yourself that, hey, I'm not ready for this. The fact of the matter is, when you were born and you were ready.
You don't push an arrow, you pull it away from it. And it is the digression that causes the progression. If your life has been tough and it's been hard, and you had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and your childhood wasn't so good, guess what? That was just the arrow being pulled back so that when you are released, you can trust after the thing you're after. So you don't have to grieve over what you didn't get and what didn't happen.
It takes discipline to look with full objectivity at the results of our applied plan. And it takes discipline to change either our plan or our method of executing that plan if the results are poor. It takes discipline to be firm when the world throws opinions at our feet. It takes discipline to ponder the value of someone else's opinion when our pride and our arrogance leads us to believe that we are the only ones with the answers. That discipline is a constant human awareness of the need for action and a conscious act by us to implement that action. Discipline is an awareness of the constant need for action and a conscious act to implement that action.
Because this is when I get to exercise my discipline. This is when I get to show the discipline. I get to put the discipline to work. It's the moment I have been waiting for. Because let's face it, if things were easy, then I could just sit around and slack off. Right? That's what could happen. When things are easy, when things are going right, that's when you actually can slack off a little bit because things are going right. I don't recommend it. I recommend actually when things are going right, you go hard. But when things are going wrong, you need to go even harder. So if everything's going wrong, it doesn't matter to me because I'm on the path. I'm going to stay on the path, the war path. And I'm going to get my situation rectified. Stat.
How you were treated and who didn't raise you and who didn't love you don't have to grieve about it at all once you understand the greater the digression, the stronger the progression. If Nelson Mandela had not been incarcerated, had not been mistreated, had not been ostracized, he would not have the passion to do what he does. If Oprah Winfrey had not gone through the things that she had gone through, she would not be so committed to making sure that everybody finds their purpose and finds their dream.
If our awareness and our implementations occur at the same time, then we begin a valued sequence of disciplined activity. Now here's the other side of discipline. If there's considerable time that passes between the moment of awareness and the time of our implementation, then that is called procrastination. Procrastination, doing it tomorrow instead of today. Procrastination, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now. Do it to the best of your ability, today, tomorrow, and always, until finally, the worthy deed becomes instinctive. Procrastination says later, tomorrow.
Other than death, all failure is psychological. Other than death, all failure is psychological. Think about that. Just think about that. This failure, this upset, this catastrophe. If you aren't dead, then it's just psychological. It's in your head. Now, this does not mean that you won't lose some battles, because you will. We all will. But it does mean that as long as you don't surrender, as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't quit, then you haven't failed. It just means you've made a temporary tactical retreat. It means you've made a brief withdrawal so that you can regroup.
Everybody gets healed, and everybody's okay, I'm telling you. What you think is working against you is actually working for you. My challenge in our generation is that gradually through entertainment, through television, through media, through every way possible, we are living in a generation of the dumbing down of ideas because we have traded effectiveness for business. Statistics say we are busier than any other generation we have seen in the last 300 to 400 years.